Hello, everyone.
Hello. Did you think you were by yourself?
No, I knew you were going to show up eventually, but you just showed up at the nick of time.
Yeah, it's timesheet turn-in day.
Timesheet turn-in day?
Yeah, we don't submit those timesheets. We don't get paid.
Oh, boy. That's never a good sign.
I have never not submitted it, so we're okay. I don't know what would happen if you didn't. I don't want to know.
I wouldn't want to know either.
No.
But anyways, welcome to another episode of Supernatural Talk. We got a very special guest, someone, of course, despite the fact I hang out with all the time. And that's my good friend Lois Haddow. So it's great to have you on Supernatural Talk for the first time.
I know, it feels so weird. So weird.
Even though I was just on our
Diana.
Even though I was just on your show just literally less than 2 hours ago.
I know. Do you know, at the end of my show tonight, one of the things I said was, it's so weird to say I'll see everybody in 2 hours, because I feel like I'm stealing your line. I'll see everybody in 2 hours.
Very much so. Well, Tom pretty much did earlier today.
Yeah, how did that show go?
How can we describe it, Lois?
Wow. Wow. So many levels. Wow.
I also, probably for the first time ever, I should probably throw this out too, on any of our shows, that there was even a little sports thrown into it, because I demonstrated how to do disc golf. I was out earlier today.
Bye, Jeremy. Bye, Jeremy. Bye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
So, anyways, I'm not exactly sure where to ask with this one, because again, since you and I always talk all the time, so
okay.
Yeah, so, Adrian, you'll have to take over in this case.
I can talk. That is not a problem.
Yeah, I know you can.
All right. So, for those people that don't know you, tell us what you do, where you're from.
My name is Lois Haddow. I am from Scotland. I am a paranormal investigator and podcaster. I have 3 shows. I have the Mystical Carousel Show, Fools and Ghouls, and literally for 9 days from now, I will be going solo. I will be doing a true crime podcast. So I'm looking forward to it. Nervous because it'll be on my own, but I've came this far, so might as well give it a bash. So I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of true crime, I don't know. Eileen is supposed to join us. I have a roommate, Irene, now, and I've been calling her Eileen forever. Let's see. There is a true crime going on in her town. A 14-year-old killed her mother and shot her stepdad.
What?
Oh wow.
Her mom was a local school teacher, and there's actually a video. It looks like it's on TikTok. Nope. It's on news. But anyway, she's got right now, Court TV is in her town.
Yeah.
And, all this mess. But this video was absolutely unreal. This child walked. They had a camera in the kitchen, and she peeked around the corner to see if anybody was there. And you could tell she had something, but you couldn't tell it was a gun. And then she walked down the hall where the camera couldn't see. Did some shots, like 3 or 4. You heard the screaming, and then the screaming stopped. and the dogs were bouncing around her. And, you know, they were scared for a second during the shot, and then they were bouncing around her. She walked right back out, sat down, and started texting and told her friends to come see the bodies.
That is crazy.
Do you know what? This is not the first case that I've heard where something like that has happened. Now, everyone will know well. People will be like, you don't usually talk this posh in your shows. People will be well known with the case of where the son killed the mother and father in America, and then threw a party where the bodies were in the bedroom. Tyler was the boy's name that killed the parents, and he showed his friends what he had done. The sad reality is when kids and teenagers watch things on the TV like court cam, you know, any sort of thing, any sort of film, any sort of. Now, if you look at social media, social media is the world's worst battleground for everything. Kids are hitting each other, they film it, they put it on social media. If people are going to be doing live killings, they go on social media, going live. Just now over, which seems to be over here, is on TikTok. Well, everywhere on TikTok seems to be this mad craze about Wade Wilson, the man that's just been with the death penalty. Now he's everywhere on TikTok. Now kids are watching this and kids are thinking, this person's cool, you know, I've seen this or I've seen that. They get the ideas. Boom. That's where we are at.
They actually had and I don't know if the show's going to get banned for this, but they had a National Threat Day on TikTok.
Seriously?
And people were supposed to call threats to, I'm assuming schools. I don't know.
That's nuts.
But that is what happened. And here in, let's see, just in what I've been watching is the Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado area. The threats are unreal. And then we had a teacher yesterday, came on the news today.
Yep.
Got arrested for choking a child, a 6-year-old.
Oh my God.
A 6-year-old choked him. The kid's alive. But can you imagine never being able to trust anybody in authority again? Because that's what's going to happen.
You know, I just want to also throw this out too. I just looked this up because again, this is the first time I'm hearing about it, about this kid that killed his mom. I don't know if you guys had seen the most recent update that's going through the proceedings right now, like because she had a court date. You know what?
Yeah.
You would expect that she feels terrible. You know what this kid reaction was when she was in the court date? She laughed in front of the judge and jury that was ultimately deciding her fate. She laughed at that.
Yeah.
I mean, you will. Sorry.
I think maybe, Robert. I think maybe she's trying to prove her insanity case, but it proved. I don't know. She showed no emotion. She sat down and started texting. That is insane to me. I mean, that proves she has a mental illness somewhere to be able to kill your parents, number one, and to see your act laying in front of you and not have any emotion is a mental illness. There is something wrong with that mind.
There is. And these kids that do this kind of stuff, they also don't seem to realize too, especially when it comes to crimes like especially murder, that and Adrian, I think we actually talked about this a long time ago when I was over at your house last year, but these kids don't seem to realize that you don't even have to be 18 or 21 to go to prison or have an adult sentence like that. In most states nowadays, at 13 or 14 years old, depending on which state, I don't know what it is in this case for Mississippi, but you definitely can be charged as an adult by the state of Mississippi and get an adult sentence.
And you should be.
Yeah.
If you can pick up that gun and you can shoot somebody, you should be.
Oh, stop.
Her name is Carly.
Carly Gregg.
Carly Gregg. Gregg.
Yep.
Yep. And that's another thing, though. They make
I'm fascinated when it comes to things like this. So please carry on. this is my spectrum. This is what I love, and this is why, as Nick will be well aware, because Nick's been with me for day dot, for day one when I kidnapped him on that lonesome road. I promised him, come with me, and he came. So Nick's been with me for day dot. I did start doing crime shows. The problem I was having with crime shows is YouTube algorithm. And bearing in mind, because of where I am, I'm in the UK, I've got to be conscious about time zones around the world.
Yeah.
So I kind of went away from it. And then I would say to myself, I actually do miss doing crime. So that's how I came up with Dark Archives with Willow. And I went to Jeremy York and I said, I'd like to do a crime show, but obviously I'll respect that time.
Mm-hmm.
So Silly here thought, bright idea, 6 a.m. in the morning. In the UK, but knowing fine well that it'll be like 12-1 for you guys and wherever across the world. Because then I can be open. Yeah, I can get into the nitty gritty. Yeah, I can get down to the logistics. Because I think when you're tackling such subjects like true crime, you watch these shows, you hear what things that have been discussed. My favourite YouTube channel to watch when it comes to true crime stuff is Criminally Listed. And I listen to how they do their podcast. And I think, yeah, I would love to do mine the exact same way. So, and when I was young, like, it was actually staying with my gran and papa that got me into true crime. And it used to start off watching for you guys in America and all across the world. It's a TV series that was quite popular. It was set in Glasgow. Scott will know what I'm talking about. And it's a programme called Target. And it was basically the old Glasgow crime programme where it was, all back in the day, and it was great. And then from there I would watch like Crime Watch, which the equivalent to Crime Watch to you guys would be Americans Most Wanted. So it would be like people would do reconstructions, people would phone in, blah, 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 things like that. So then you go to Channel 5, and you would have your late night shows, obviously on American time to the UK time. And for the life of me, I can't remember the one that we used to watch, but it used to be Reconstruct again. So all of this, I certainly really, really liked Unsolved Mysteries, as Robert said. I love Unsolved Mysteries as well. But the thing I like about Unsolved Mysteries is it just doesn't look at crime. It looks at different things. And believe it or not, I've actually started watching it again on Amazon Prime. Is Unsolved Mysteries. So that's how it really picked up, my mind. And I have watched a load of documentaries. Some have been really, really good. Some of them I've not really liked. And apart from that, really, that's where my interest in unsolved crime came from, and true crime and cold cases, and pretty much it.
I I actually had an experience with unsolved mysteries. Not myself, but in, let's see, my son was born 2005. There was I worked in a hospital, and it was the same hospital my son was born in. I was a cook in the kitchen. And there was a lady, there was 2 girls come up missing in our town.
Yeah.
And I had a connection to those girls simply because I worked for their mom at McDonald's when I was young. So, I knew the mom. And then
wow.
it was a smaller town. So the sheriff in that town, they assumed that he's the one that had something to do with the girls going missing. Now,
Wow.
it was over drugs. The parents were into drugs. No doubt about it. The parents of, there was 2 girls. They were best friends. The McDonald's daughter went to go spend the night with her friend. And I guess, I don't know what happened. They speculated drugs. But somebody came in, took the girls, and burned down the house with the parents in it. But the girls weren't there. They didn't find their bodies. So every trucker in the United States had their, wanted, finding missing persons thing. And they were 14 and 15 at the time. And of course they went to mediums. They went to, lots of things trying to find these girls. Well, come to find out, they were going on Unsolved Mysteries. This nurse that I worked with at the hospital was going to go on Unsolved Mysteries. She was best friends with the mom. I was working that day, and my best friend comes down the hallway from delivering a late tray for somebody in ICU. And she said, Diana's been shot.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm like, where is she? And I expected, she's in the ER if she knew she was shot and something happened at home. She was a farm girl. And she said, I think she's in the ER, but she couldn't function. So I go down to find out. We got cops swarmed, and she was in the ICU unit talking on the phone to her daughter. Somebody walked in and shot her right in the head. We had to walk around her. We were on lockdown. And we had to walk around her for the next 12 hours with her brain matter on the walls.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
and,
my God.
Being a small hospital, the ICU unit's right there, and you have to walk through it to get to the ICU. So we're walking around her. And come to find out, because she said that she was going to go on Unsolved Mysteries, she was threatened. And somebody had been on that threat. But to this day, the girls haven't been found.
Wow.
Oh my God. See, this is a thing that you have the problem with, is when you do live, and I'm no offence to anybody that lives in small towns. I've lived in small towns myself. Here's what your problem is of living in small towns. Everyone knows everyone, and things can get back to people.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing about it is, no one will ever, as my gran always said, she can remember the days that you could leave your door open and everybody knew everyone. And say your children were out playing, it was always guaranteed that they were going to be safe, because it was always, the next neighbour or the next neighbour or someone across the road that was always keeping their eyes out.
Yep.
But you just can't do it. You just cannot do it in this day and age. You can't. And the problem is when you live in these small towns, no one wants to speak, because no one wants to, put themselves in it.
Everyone's so suspicious of each other.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I'm like, if they don't know my business, they're going to make it up. So I'll give them something to talk about.
God. Oh,
dare.
I mean, I can even actually just throw this out as an example. Like, and this was about now over 15 years ago. Obviously, 15 years ago, I was still in high school. And, back then, even something like this was not, I mean, nowadays, people look down upon it and think it's like the worst thing anyone could do. But back then, it was nothing, anything of concern. But there was like one day I was walking home from school. And as I'm walking home from school, this man shows up and he asked me, and it was just the simplest of things. He just came up to me and asked for just directions to like a gas station or something like that. Like, because I guess he was having a flat tire or something. Now, obviously, even back then, if he asked me saying, "Well, can you come check on this tire with me?" Yes, that would raise an eyebrow then. But this guy, this was an older guy too, probably like in his late 50s, early 60s. But the simplest thing was he was just asking for directions. And then I told him, say, well, if you go this direction and you turn there, you'll be able to find a gas station. And after that, off he went. And that was it. So it's like back then, you were allowed to do something like that, if it was just asking for directions. But now you can't even ask people because they're going to think they're going to abduct you or kill you or something like that.
oh, God, yeah.
No.
Oh, God, yeah.
I know.
Do you know?
It was just a simple thing, but now there's just so many people that are, it's so much paranoia.
And do you know, it's actually been proven, guys, right? And it's a well-known fact, right? They did an experiment. And what they did was they did an experiment. It was in the UK. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not. But basically what they did was to test how people are today in the 21st century. What they did was they got somebody to go out the street and pretend that they were having a seizure to see what what the normal people would do, right? If they saw somebody taking a seizure. So this person did, and at least about maybe 80 to 85% of them walked by. So they stopped many people and they said, why did you not help the person? If you seen that person collapsing and taking a seizure, why did you not go and help? Or they were drunk, or they were out in their face on drugs, or I didn't know if maybe they were carrying a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this just shows you why people won't go and help people. It's the same as if they see children alone, let's be honest, in today's day and age, people won't approach children because they'll be too scared of what might be implied, what the child might say, and they're just that kind of way where they're kind of like, oh no.
There was a thing here where there was a child out in the middle of nowhere, either in a car seat or standing on the side of the road crying. And of course, a female's going to stop. And there was somebody like in the bushes or back behind that would come run out at the person and kidnap them. And so now what we do more than anything is stop way back and call the police.
Yeah.
And that's, society is getting absolutely crazy. We were in the store a few months ago in Home Depot, and there was this woman being awful to Zach. And I mean, she was just nasty. He was looking for something and asking help for this guy from this worker. And she was like, I need this, interrupted him. And he's like, in a minute. She's helping me. And she was overwhelmed, you could tell. And all of a sudden, she's having a seizure on the floor in Home Depot. And her husband walks through there and he just stands next to him, next to her, just looking at her. And Zach, of course, can I help? Do we need to call the ambulance? What do we need to do? What's going on? And he's like, no, this happens all the time. It's okay. But no. That happened to my ex-husband. He had a blackout at the bus stop. Everyone walked past, thought he was drunk. Yeah.
That's so sad, Noreen. So sad.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, Kate. Hey, everyone.
Yeah, they, it is awful, and that's probably how I'll go out. Is I don't know a stranger. That's my thing. If I go out that way, that's perfectly fine. I don't care.
Well, I was gonna say, Adrian, what were you trying to say after when I said about this guy that I ran into? What were you trying to say?
I would not hesitate. I don't hesitate to talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. The only time now, as a matter of fact, last year, our big old long front porch there.
Yeah.
I was standing there doing something, talking to Dad, and this guy, obviously after he started talking, you knew he was on drugs.
Yeah.
He turned to us, and that sidewalk being right there, Dad's right there, and he's like, he said something about, what the fuck you got to say? He's something about, I'll fuck your woman.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, I'm looking, my husband's back here, my father-in-law's over here, and I'm like, I said, you better keep moving. You better just keep moving. And of course, my husband's like, what'd you say? What'd you say? And I'm like, you better keep moving. You better move. And he was so far gone that I think whatever was playing in his head is what he was saying. It had nothing to do with actually seeing anybody around.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm actually quite no surprised, Adriana, that you didn't run down and spear him one across. You can see Adriana running down that garden way, spearing them and then slowplex them. Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
There was another guy. We went to the store the other day. He was homeless. He had his old bike there, and he was parked where we have a handicap sign. He was parked, in the handicap area, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I'll move my bike." I'm like, it's okay. And he started talking nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And I'm just standing there going, yeah. And my husband won't even look at him in the eyes. He's looking away while this guy's just talking. And he says, have you ever had, whatever happened? Da, 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 da. Hi, honey.
Hey, Jan.
And I'm like, okay, no. And I just carry on this conversation. He's like, come on. I was like,
okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go in here. And he's like, can you give me a quarter? And I said, I kind of looked at my husband, see if he had a quarter on him. And he says, I don't have any money. He said, let's see if we can get some off the card. Well, we're in there. And come back out, forgot all about him. Come back out. I'm like, sorry, they didn't give cash back. And he started talking more nonsense. I'm like, okay, well, we got to go. Bye. I said, I don't mind talking to people like that. And he's like, I don't like talking to people like that. That's not my life to say. I don't care.
I'm very much the same. I will speak to the Joe blogs. I think sometimes, I'm quite empathic sensitive sometimes, and I think sometimes that's part of it. People just sit down beside you and they start telling you their life story, and you feel so bad because you want to hear this poor person out, but at the same time you've got to watch for your stop because you're scared that you miss your bus, your bus stop. But at the same time, and I just feel like I must have one of the faces that just somebody can speak to me and tell me their life story, and I'm just kind of like, yay. Well, you've got my son trying to pull me, come on, Mum. Or you've got somebody else trying to pull me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute, but you can't actually walk away.
Yeah. When we got in the car, he was finally spewing some threats of some sort. I was like, okay,
bye. I was like, bye.
What Robert said. Really?
Yeah.
It was a serial killer, unknown at the time, that killed a girl that was walking home from school in my hometown.
you know, that happens in almost every town. I
Yep.
mean, there
Yep.
is.
And I can compare, like, even again with the guy I just brought up. I mean, the difference was, I mean, I knew this was not like a guy who was on drugs or anything like that. And this was out in a public area. So there were plenty of cars driving around. So I think even if he had that idea, it'd be the worst place that he could go because there'd be plenty of witnesses. But I just didn't detect anything wrong with this guy because, again, it was just asking for directions. And after that, now that time I was 16 years old. So I was already pretty well aware of when it came to, you know, suspicious individuals. So this guy just didn't seem like didn't really seem like a threat at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, there's nothing wrong if, you know, and it's not a crime. Someone's just asking to where he needs to go. So he just had that grandfatherly look to him.
Well, we're going to get into my age here. I'm 50. When I was going with my mom, we would travel all over the world. We would go to Mexico. We went to Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. You know, we went everywhere. And I don't remember the other places. Yeah, I do. Costa Rica. But both of Mexico and Costa Rica, I remember my mom stopping a local and say, hey, you know, I'll give you, which back then was huge, especially in Mexico money. I'll give you $100 for you to drive us around today to your local places, not the tourist areas, your local places. And in Mexico, we did that. We got in with some guy in his car and went around all day long. Went to the best places you could dream of. In Costa Rica, my mom found some guy that owned a boat. He was a fisherman, had a daughter my age. We got on that boat, we cracked coconuts, drank the milk. Her and I jumped off the boat, swam to shore. We didn't think anything about it.
Oh wow. It's
Oh,
funny.
Hell, it's called Uber, Robert.
Well, yeah, and you got to be worried about them too.
I was taking an Uber drive.
Oh well, yeah. But it's some world we live in. Honestly,
Yeah,
without a
really.
shadow of doubt, it is some world that we live in, and the thing about that you find as well is sometimes the people that you would least expect to be some sort of killer or serial killer. I mean, how many serial killers have we looked at in the past and the present who have went on? And I get asked this quite a lot is, you know, what's your opinion on obviously people who live double lives?
Right.
And I said it's so easily done. You just have to look at the right. I'm going to say this properly because Nick was there when I slipped up the fraudulent slip, and then people were laughing in the chat with me all night. BTK killer, not BLT killer. That's what I said one night in a podcast, meaning to say BTK. When you look at the BTK killer and you look at John Wayne Gacy, there's been plenty more. Some not well known that live double lives, can go out. I mean, you look at John Wayne Gacy shaking the hand of the first woman.
Oh yeah.
The first lady. You know, pictures taken, everybody. Hi Joshua, hey everyone. You know, shaking Henry, he was doing charity work.
Yep.
BTK killer, there's a picture we stand beside his daughter, smiley, happy family photo. You wouldn't have thought any different. You know, you just never know. I don't think anyone will ever know the true study of the brain. You just don't know.
Right.
I mean, for all you, I'm not saying that I am, right? But I could be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Nick could be a serial killer. You could be a serial killer. You just don't know that. People's looks are very, very deceiving.
That's right.
Yep.
Just
Yeah,
wanna
I,
share it.
I
Sorry,
get in
go ahead.
trouble quite often because what my mouth doesn't say, my face does. So there's not a whole lot I can hide.
To be honest with you, Adriana, I can't hide much either, so I'd be a shit serial killer.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I could not a serial killer, but I'm pretty sure I could handle my own with a couple.
Kill breakfast all the time. Just real quick, what Noreen here says: when I was younger, a man in a car pulled up and asked directions. My friend and myself started giving him directions, but he said he couldn't hear us, so we would come closer to the car. When we got close, he said, "Get in the car." We ran and ran, managed to get away, but that's not it. Then he said the man went to grab a young boy into his car, but the boy luckily managed to open the car door and jump out of it. Holy cow!
Oh, God.
You saved your own life, is what you did.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
did.
but I'm pissed. I'll rip your face off.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's me. It's like,
In Chicago, they have a gunshot detection system the city paid $100 million to install. Now the mayor wants to deactivate all those systems. That's weird. I haven't
why?
even heard.
Why would they want to deactivate them?
I don't know. That's actually something I haven't even heard about, to be honest with you.
Can't say I've ever heard the gunshot detection system.
There's some questionable people nowadays, more than when I was a child. We were able to wander the woods and river in places without, yep. And that was the same thing with, like I said, that was the same for me. So like
Mimi,
2011 or so when it all changed.
Mimi, can I just honestly say that people say, and this is what I laugh, right? Is people say, look at those elderly people. Oh, they're so sweet. And then it turns out many of them are killers as well. And it's just, oh, so funny.
Where I go fishing, I mean, it's not far from my house. And I'll go in. The other day I told, because my grandbaby, when he was here, he says, I'm going to go here to the creek, Grandma. I'm like, okay, because there was like big pond and there's a little walkway for bikes and stuff. And then there's a creek. He wasn't far from me, but I still couldn't see him. And I was telling Grandpa about it. And he goes, don't you let them do that. And I said, well, I'm going to go down there. He said, don't you do that. He said, there's homeless that live down there and they will hurt you for their territory. I'm like, so I take my gun. I refuse.
I'm laughing, but
I refuse to be pushed out of a public area where I have full rights to be by someone who thinks that they own it and do not. And I guarantee you, anybody that tried anything with me, they better get me before I can get to my gun.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be missing a set of balls and they can explain that to the judge.
Oh, Adriana, I just love you. I think you're brilliant.
They would be missing some balls so that they have something to explain and then sit their butts in jail. Or, if the system happens to let them go, at least they'd have to explain why they were missing some balls. Not a problem for me.
Oh, I love you.
It's calming and peaceful in the street.
You would think.
What do you expect, Josh? Got a hard week. I gotta bring this one. Noreen said, I've worked with two murderers. One I knew something was very wrong. The other one looked like the man from the Mr. Muscle Adverts. He was a weedy looking guy. The least likeliest looking murderer you can meet.
Oh, Mr. Muscle, I can remember. It was basically a UK cleaning product, but it was the most really funniest, skimpiest thing, and it was like a stick thin man with like flaky glasses with a vest top on, and honestly, it was so funny. It's so funny.
That's right, Jen. If I don't have my gun, she does, and her. She's scarier than a gun. I'm telling you. Ask Nick if she's got to pee.
Yep. I've been a witness to that.
And she has an infection. Oh Lord, help everybody around.
I stay out of the way.
Falls detection
Between
system.
falls detection system.
Well, I'm assuming they're going to have a set if they're walking up to me in that way, coming at me
Oh,
sideways. I'm assuming they have a set, but they will not when they leave.
Adriana, where is it you're from?
Originally,
No, we're from now.
where am I from? Colorado now.
Colorado. So the crime rate in Colorado is way down because you're running the town.
Oh no, it's quite high up in elevation.
Well, look who's here. Look who's
No,
here,
crime
Lois.
is not down in this town. Absolutely
Oh,
not. They don't
hey
give me out
Jenny.
for running anything.
I joined late.
I joined late, but I love the sound of the stream, and I agree with Adrian about not being able to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere that is not public place. It's not like I'm
No.
breaking into somebody's house or going into their yard where I would expect them to pull a gun on me.
No.
Because, you just don't do that. Here, and I'm not doing the race thing. It's none of that. But we've had some immigrants come in where they're knocking on doors and pushing people in. And are you asking if I've had a gummy, Joshua? Not yet. Not yet. But, they're claiming, from one country or another. It's not. It can be from anywhere. It is happening. And it doesn't matter where they're from. The point is they're illegal here. And they can't, it's not they can't. They get help, trust me. Our government gives them thousands of dollars to buy a business where we don't get that. I'm all for legal immigration. My father legally immigrated here with absolutely nothing because nobody gave us a damn thing. But these people are breaking into people's homes and holding them hostage while they rob their homes. No. There's 3 guns sitting there where I can get to them. And
that's the same in Ireland too.
And with 4 of us in the house, now 5, one of us can distract them while somebody grabs that gun. That is not going to be an issue. But, people, it's getting bad everywhere. And it doesn't matter if it's immigrants, children, it's just getting bad where it's acceptable to act like you're an animal. We're going back to animals.
Yeah.
Not that I ever was. But
as crazy as this is also going to sound too, like you listen, like we were just talking about, all these people out there who may look just like perfect, normal, everyday citizens when they probably have a dark side to it. That's obviously very well detailed, and you guys know so too well as being a fan of a lot of the slasher movies and stuff. They demonstrate that a lot in the slasher movies, where you don't expect that's the person that's been killing these people. And when you do find out who they are, they're not these guys like you see in these, even the movies themselves. They're not these horrific, yes, sometimes they display it in some of the slasher movies, but they're not these like often like people who are like disfigured or deformed, or people that are like always wearing a mask, or or like a black clothes, or like always wearing these menacing looking gloves. Sometimes we find out who they really are, and they just look like normal residents, like anybody you'd see down the street. Yes, again, sometimes the slasher movies give that kind of look to where they have that, they like Jason, where he has like this zombified look, but that's not always the case with a lot of those movies.
Well, let's think about it. If we decided to be a serial killer tomorrow, there's not going to be anything pop out on our forehead.
Nope.
That says, horns, or says that we're bad. We look like anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
see.
Yes, David. Yes,
Oh, Dave.
absolutely.
Haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen Dave in a while.
Okay.
That's good.
Absolutely. I completely, I don't talk about my voting just like Nick does not, but I'm going to tell you what, anybody tries to take the guns, they can kiss my ass. I don't care what side they're on. They're going to get some people hurt coming to my door with them.
Saw a woman jog at 7:45 tonight. So it was dark, and I was hoping for her safety because it is what it is, unvetted people.
Yep.
It's sad that that's how we think.
Yep.
It's 7:45. We should not be worried about somebody, but it is. I mean, that's our first thought is they're out here alone. Who else is out here?
See here what Jenny said. To be honest, people can see the racist card. I don't care, but no, vet these men coming into Ireland, UK, America, etc. in Ireland. We are almost not Ireland anymore. Jeez.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There are countries which used to be, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jenny. Ireland used to be one of the countries that you really had to, I know Greenland is, you had to really, really try to get in. They're not going to let just anybody in. You had to go through the citizenship.
Yep.
You had to pass their tests and stuff, just like we have here, but we don't uphold that because we allow asylum, which is perfectly great. I love that. That's wonderful. But there's a legal way to do that. And that's exactly how we need to do that. That's not saying that criminals can't get in legally. They can. But it would tone it down a little bit. Yeah.
That's Jenny said we had to fight to keep our country. And yes, we did, but money and our government talks. Yep.
Yeah. Governments are becoming a hindrance.
That's the other unfortunate part of it too.
A
Yeah.
total pain in the ass.
Yeah. They're becoming.
They're all worrying. I think YouTube are the rhythm. That horrible year that everyone will never ever.
Yeah.
Didn't know you had a
has created.
You shouldn't know. You shouldn't know they got a taser nor a gun unless they have to use it.
Exactly. I've known him for several years. Until now, I never knew he had one.
Well, remember, don't use it as a telephone. That's a bad move.
The funniest thing I saw the funniest thing the other day. It was on TikTok, so I'm sure everybody's seen it. But I just thought this was so funny.
Hey, Joanne.
A 9-volt battery. Somebody put it up to somebody's nose ring.
Oh my god!
Oh god, no!
Both ends touch.
Ouch!
Yikes! That was probably quite the nose piercing for him.
Mace. I was in the legal system for a while and not in jail. I mean, I was a paralegal. And we were in a town of maybe 800 people at the time, at the most. I don't think it was that many, but there was 2 cops in that town. If I was speeding, they'd call me on the phone and say, "You need to slow it down. You do not want me to stop you." I'm like, "Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do."
Oh, Robert got my reference. I'm really proud of him. Really, really proud of him. That was my reference.
But they did. Yeah. They taught us. I went through their cop program, and they taught us not to use mace for one simple reason. You use it outside, and you're in a panic, or even inside, and you're in a panic, because you're going to be panicked if you have to use it. And you go to spray. You may have that sprayer turn towards you. You incapacitate yourself. You're dead. If you're outside doing it and it comes back at you with the wind, and they demonstrated this because these guys are immune to it at this point.
Yeah.
They get running noses, but that's it.
Well, do you know what we have in the UK? I don't know if it's if you guys will go to Air in America. I only really know this. I was talking about this just briefly on my podcast, the show beforehand. I was talking about, because Tom was saying about people watching things on YouTube you wouldn't think that most people would watch. And my thing is auditors. I used to believe that auditors was just an American thing, until I had discovered over in the UK there's plenty of auditors round about. And what the auditors over here have started carrying is, it's a thing that's called a criminal identifier. It's like a spray. It's almost like pepper spray, but it's no pepper spray. It's like a thing of the spray. It basically lets out like some sort of paint that you can't wash off. So they're easily identified. And I thought that was actually pretty cool, because I'm thinking to myself, can you imagine that you get somebody that tries to rob you and you spray it? And there's no way that they can hide it, because how the hell would they explain having that sort of stuff? But I thought that was pretty cool, the criminal identifier.
I've never heard of that.
It's basically like, it's a wee dinky bottle. It's not even that big. But I still say carry a taser. I mean, how illegal is that?
Yeah.
Hey, Donna. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
the two
I'm
cats
not.
fighting round about me.
I'm too old to play. So if I can't whoop their ass in the first, 5 minutes, we're going to be looking for something different.
Yeah.
Adriana, I have no illusion that you can't handle yourself. I think you would be like one of those ones that you would think, oh, I'll get away with it, and then you would just, like, I could just see you throwing them right over your back.
Yeah, a couple of husbands that did that, and I walked away, and I have enough anger that I should not have, from walking away, because I should not have walked away when I got hit. I'm like, next person,
Oh,
I will beat the holy hell out of them, but now I'm getting a little old for that shit.
Joanne says she carries hairspray, and then Josh also said similarly. Just like in California and Florida, there's bear spray. That's actually a thing.
Oh, absolutely, it is here too.
I didn't know that actually exists.
Yeah, up here too. Yep.
So what exactly? I gotta ask. So what exactly, like, are the chemicals for bear spray?
I'm gonna look that up, because it is more potent than, obviously, for humans.
Like more potent than pepper spray?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
because you spray that on a bear, they're gonna eat you.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, I if I had something like that, I don't know if I'd even use it, because I'd be fearing I probably would just make it even angrier than it already is.
Yeah, you will. And now they're coming into towns. We saw one on a door cam here in Greeley.
Oh, do you know, I love watching animal videos, but not just that door cams. And see when it's animals, especially, and you see the wee cocky arses walking across your front lawn, coming up your doorstep. I think it's great fun. And see when you see the wee dogs try to chase them away, that's even funnier.
I was gonna say it's fun until they get into your house.
Do you know?
Not okay. Not okay.
Do you know? Before you guys came on, I was sitting watching reels on Facebook, and I was laughing because it was filmed over in America, and there's a line of 5 cars. So the bear goes up to the first car to touch it, and the guy shouts down, "Hey, that's my car!" Right? So the bear goes on to the second one, and so the lassie's shouting, "Don't touch my car!" Bear's opened the door right in.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. It's funny till you're running for your life.
It says that it is capsaicin that's in it, which would be the same as pepper spray. But there's also 134A, which works as a propellant, which has significantly higher greenhouse gas effect compared to the new alternative. So it sprays further. Is what I'm seeing.
Red pepper oil and I don't even know how to say these. What Jenny just said.
Red
with
pepper oil, oleoricin, of
Orison and
capsaicin. It sounds like it might be just more condensed capsaicin than the red pepper. It's not going to take much to hurt our eyes.
No, it's not. It's kind of fun. I like what Robert said. Bear spray, the Steve Irwin of protections.
But you see what happened to Steve Irwin.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but guys, let's face it. When it came to Steve Irwin, we all thought it was going to be alligators, crocodiles, snakes, spiders, sharks that would have gotten, but a stingray. This shows you.
Yep. Wow, Zach did a good job tonight.
Oh, looking tasty.
Steak, potatoes, carrots, and then broccoli and cauliflower.
You are a very looked after woman.
He cooks on my nights. Oh. Okay. There's no bears in Ireland? Oh.
Oh.
Bears are
It's
amazing.
all right. There'll be a bear there, Jenny, in 2026.
What scones?
Baby scones. Scones?
What are scones? Oh,
Uh,
he's asking y'all what scones are.
Skunks.
Oh,
Baby skunks.
no. Don't ask what scones are.
I can't wait either, Jenny. It'll be good. It will be good, honey.
No snakes in Ireland? Wow.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm terrified of snakes. Oh God, Lord, no.
Oh,
Hell no.
absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
I used to own a couple.
Oh no, Adriana.
There was one that was like 7 feet tall or long, but it would crawl across the bed and go
Oh no.
up the wall. Its little body, about 2 feet of its tail would be down on the floor. The rest of it would be up the wall. And that's where it'd sleep.
Oh, Adriana, you're killing me off here. Because I'm sitting there going, oh no.
Oh, it was so cool.
Do you know what? Years ago, talking early teens, I took a ex-boyfriend to go and see a horror movie. So in revenge, he took me to see Snakes in a Plane. I thought I'll be the big brave girl, pull the big girl pants on, I'll be fine. Kept saying to myself, it's just a movie, it's just a movie, it's just a movie, it's just a movie, it's just a movie. So was doing really, really well until it came, oh, holy Jesus, you people are weirdos. Then I was really, really good until it came to the bit where the big anaconda came out the ceiling and started wrapping itself around. Oh, no, 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 no. I was off out the hospital.
Yep.
I was like, oh, no, 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 no.
No, snakes aren't like that. I mean, anacondas, yes. They are
Oh, no.
deadly.
Nick, they're trying to kill me off here.
No, I had to get up for a minute or two because my cat just happened to find a mouse. So it was a baby mouse too. So I had to try to save its life quickly.
Oh, bless it. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got him.
Did you put it outside, not inside?
He's outside. He's outside.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
cat must be looking at you like, wait till you're sleeping. I'm going to scratch
I'm
your
sure,
eyes out.
I'm sure she's thinking that way, but this was a baby mouse. It was just starting its life, and I didn't want the cats to eat it.
And the rest of its family is probably in the house.
Yeah, it probably is. I know we get them. We hear them in the ceiling, so we know it's not the only one.
Mm-hmm. She's just bringing you a present.
Well, no, she didn't
Oh,
bring it. She didn't bring it to me. I could hear the squeaks, and that's when I knew what was going on. So I had to run over. And
Jenny has a question for me. Jenny, what's your question? She's not really a question. She just says, Willow, a question for you. Who's my favourite Irish queen? Oh, it's you, darling. 100%. 100%.
while we're waiting for that question, Lois, you should tell because I know he was watching earlier. Scott, you should tell what you call him whenever he's watching our shows.
Oh, do you know, I was being very posh because I came on to Supernatural Talk, and you just have to bring down the tone of the show.
Hey, don't look at me. He was the one tuning in.
I was being very nice and waved at him very, very politely. For Scott, I think he's just a baldy bastard. He's a baldy poaching bastard. And there's Jeremy coming on to give me into trouble for saying the B word.
No, he's used to me.
Okay, so here's your question. If any location in the world that you could investigate, where would you go?
Apart from Ireland, kidding. If I had to investigate anywhere in the world, where would I go? I'm a great lover of America. I'm a great lover of America. And I don't know if maybe I've had a past life there or whatever, but I'm a great lover of America. And there's so many places that I would love to go in America. But my ultimate number one, and Nick's knows what I'm just about to come away with, because me and Nick did a show with Ernie Park, and we were talking about my favourite place, and that is Waverley Sanatorium. And I would just love to go there. But in all honesty, there's so many places. There's so many places in the world that have beautiful buildings, that I would love to go and see. I just don't want to see any more castles. I would love to see, mental asylums, more churches, more prisons, Yeah, so anywhere in America, too many wildebeests in there.
I'd love to go to Egypt. That's a good one.
Egypt's a really good place. Really
Oh,
good place, beautiful place.
I don't know if you saw this, what Josh said. Just do great on the Beverly Hillbillies and make possum stew. Yeah, I know. It was kind of sweet. I was able to save it. Jenny says, we are sick of castles.
Oh, Jenny, I know, darling. In the UK, we have so many castles. It's like in Scotland alone, it's like I am surrounded by them. And you used to hate when you used to be with teams and you're going, where are we going? And you're thinking in your head, yeah, we're going to do a church. Yeah, we're going to do maybe a mental asylum. No, we're going to a castle. Oh, great. And people are like, you're so lucky you live around so many castles. It's like, no, once you've seen one castle, you've seen them all.
Jenny makes a good point. Wait until you come to Ireland. There's one on every corner.
Well, I really shouldn't say that, because in 2026 I know there's going to be a few castles. So I really should take my words, stick them up my backside, and wait till after 26 and then say it.
Castle
But
kilometer.
yeah, basically, like, it's crazy the amount of castles. So that's why, like, I just want to see something different. Like, come to America, see something different. That's just my excuse to come to America.
Does anybody
You know,
still live in any of those castles?
sorry, Adrian, are you cut up there?
Does anybody still live in the castles there?
know that, like, it's been passed down to many families, I think, really. But other than that, I think it's really just national trusts trying to take them over and do stuff with them. And I know, like, for talking sake, where I stay, there's some that's just abandoned, and then there's other things getting done with them, like national trusts keeping them and things. The owners live in Leek Castle. Hey, David.
Okay.
Nick, that's David that I was telling you about from
Yeah.
Royal Wolf Whisperers, the one
Yeah,
in
I remember you were talking
French.
about it before.
Yeah,
Castles have too many stairs. White Castle. And I knew this already, what Jenny said. The owners live in Lep Castle.
yeah. The castle's open to the elements, wouldn't be lived in. Yep.
Didn't Queen Elizabeth have one there? Or I thought that was Buckingham Palace that they lived in.
You too, Joshua. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was more of a palace than a castle that they lived in.
Yeah, it was Mary Palace. So, Nick, we could take Lois to a haunted strip club.
I'm not even going that direction.
I hear nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, after late, Lois is up late just for us. Yep, 2:15 in the morning.
What were you saying though?
My G, that shouldn't shock me because I had one Tom to another Tom. Take Monopoly money to
High spirited strip clubs. Oh my god. No comment on that one.
I'm being a good girl because it's not my show.
No, she's sticking around for our show. That is true.
That's it, Robert. I'm waiting up for you.
She's right, you know.
Yep.
Well,
you're
turning red.
Yeah, I'm turning red without Adrian being here. It's because I'm on a different show.
She has more than one. She has more than one castle. That's what the kids were upset about when she died. That her sister got one of them.
The Queen Elizabeth has that many grounds,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem is that it's just there's so much drama everywhere when it comes to the royals.
Mm-hmm.
So much going on just now. It's unreal, and it's spewing over to America.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of that. We've been hearing a lot of that, like on a lot of the major news stations. Again, I say it a lot. My dad watches CNN, so a lot of that's been pouring onto CNN a lot. So we've definitely gotten about it.
Oh God, yeah, it's unreal. I just try to stay away from the topic of the royal family.
No, I think a lot of it is if they catch wind of something, if the media catches wind of something, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. They run with it.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. The way I see it is media have got to write. You'll never find media that are going to be honest. Media will write the biggest bullshit. It's the same as might offend a few people. Ghost shows. Not saying every ghost show because I have favourite TV paranormal investigators. So I'm not saying all shows.
Yeah, I promise. And this year, next year, probably, I'm going to do it. That show. Do you guys get Paranormal Caught on Camera over there?
I think we do, yes.
Well, it's people sending stuff in. And the people that are on that on that panel, don't try to debunk anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can see most of it is bullshit. I mean, you can
Yeah.
see it. But I'm going to send something in, and it's going to be complete bullshit. And everybody's going to know about it before I send it in. And we're going to see just how many, I bet that was scary.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too about the show is that some videos have already been debunked immediately. Now, that makes two of us, Adrian, because I said I was going to send my video and that I took at the jail, which that's actually quite legit. But that's, while I do enjoy watching Paranormal Con on camera, that's the one issue I have. There's no skeptics. There's no antagonists, as they were called. No one to say, well, it may look like this, but I'm not so. Although, interestingly enough, and Lois, you're probably going to know this, that's actually a reason why there's kind of a secondary series, which is almost like the British version of Paranormal Con on camera, and that's Unexplained Con on camera. And that is one that I think the videos they show on that one are probably more legit because unlike the American version, if you will, they do have people who try to debunk those videos, including who am I thinking of? He's a big parapsychologist in the UK. I know Jenny's watching.
Cal Cooper.
Who?
Cal Cooper.
No, not Cal Cooper. It was he used to be on the show Most Haunted.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying.
This is actually one of the ones that I need to phone Wayne and ask him. Oh,
yeah,
no, it's not him.
Oh my God, I could see his face. It's like his name's right in front. I can't remember his name for some reason.
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying that, like, because I do have a favourite paranormal TV investigator.
That's who it is, Karen O'Keefe. Sorry.
I should have known that one. And I wouldn't usually have one, but I'm quite taken with the way this person investigates. And my favourite TV paranormal investigator is Shane Pittman.
Yeah.
I just love Shane's aura. I love the way Shane investigates. And I just love so
thanks, Noreen.
So the next thing you know, like I watched the Lightsay, and I only watched this because I wanted to see if it was as bad as what folk made out. It was Zach Baggins.
Oh, geez.
And I swear to God, it was like there was a demon tier. Now, I absolutely detest that word with a passion, with a vengeance. It drives me insane. As soon as somebody talks demonic, I'm out the door.
Yep.
See you later. I'm not dealing. Yeah.
Yep. Today, I woke up. The first thing I saw on Facebook was this picture in one of the haunted groups. It was somebody's mirror that had a fairy sitting on the mirror.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, it was a little dresser. She took a picture of her dresser. Okay. Whatever. And then she circles the reflection of the fairy. The fairy's facing out.
Yeah.
And of course, the back of it is the mirror is reflecting it. She circles that reflection and says it's a demon because it's the fairy's brown hair. And of course, it's distorted. You got a camera and you got a mirror and something in between it. Of course, it's distorted. I went off on that picture. I was like, I am so sick of hearing demons. I said, you and I, in our lifetime, will probably never run into anything demonic.
I would love, seriously, to boot Zach Baggins. Sorry, Jeremy. I'd love to boot Zach Baggins off the side of the bridge into a pier or something, because the man just drives me insane, because he started this trend where people... Demonic. Yep. It's always... It's like, there's a demon. There's a demon. The one that stands out to me the most was when they're going across this bridge Right? I just wanted to kick him off the bridge to the side.
Yeah.
Don't you pull my leg, Jenny. So they pull, like, they're going across this bridge, and I swear to God, he had moved, say, about 3 steps. Oh, stop! It's a demon. It's a demon. It's a demon.
Yep.
Then there was another further 3 or 4 steps again. There's a demon. There is a demon. And people are so hung up in Zach Baggins that there's everybody when they're out, right? Sorry if I'm going off on a tangent, folks, but if they're out and there's something bad happen, it's demonic. I'm possessed. No, 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 no. Let's break this down. How do you know it's not just a pissed off spirit who is sick of being a show monkey to everyone that comes through the door? How do you know it's just a fed up spirit who maybe just doesn't like you, doesn't like your face?
Well, I'll
You
tell
know,
you two things.
why put it down it as a demonic?
Yeah.
I'll say two things. The reason it's that way is because I have seen the contract for being on a show. And it is in there that if you don't get evidence, you're going to fake it. It's not in those words, but it is in there. Now, the other thing is, Chanel, thank you. I was going to say the same thing.
Which one?
That she has met him. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
I did not meet him, but I was in a location right behind him within hours. And I asked the owner, hey, it was a house and it was a haunted house type thing, pay to play type thing. But I said, so how was he? And she said, how would I know? He walked in, introduced himself, left his crew, and went back to the motel.
That's the other thing too about him too, is it's not even just the stuff that he talks about that everything's a demon. I also do not like how he even treats his own crew.
Yeah, I've heard that he's treated his crew pretty badly. Pretty badly.
Chanel, I'm so sorry.
I am surprised they haven't quit yet.
But the thing is,
he does treat him badly. He does.
Yep.
I have seen that on the show. And if they're allowing that much on the show, what's he doing behind the scenes to them?
Yeah, that's the other thing I wonder too. Like, yeah, it's what you're seeing is bad enough on camera, but how do we not know that it's probably even worse? Like, I would not, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he probably vocally abuses his crew members. Like, it's probably even way worse than what you see on camera.
He does, and that's why the one man left after he was possessed, which, you know what? He might have been. I don't know. Now, possessed, no, but I believe he was oppressed. And, he took it home. Bad things happened to him mentally, which caused other bad things to happen. It does happen that way, and that's part of what we have friends for, that keep us in check. If we see one is going way off the rails, hey, what's wrong with you? Hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And they can figure that out. Hi, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
But, he's already made his money.
Yeah, really.
This is the problem, right? And I've said this always, and I've witnessed it firsthand. People come into doing the paranormal for all the wrong reasons. I'll start from the beginning, right? So people come into paranormal because they've watched the ghost shows and they believe that's how it happens. So you could be sitting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever many hours in a building, freezing your butt off, nothing happens. They look at you like you've got horns on top of your head. That's not how the ghost shows. Right, there's my first annoyance. People then come into the paranormal with a good intention. I'm not going to get big-headed. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going
Yeah.
to do that. And then they're quite happy starting off with doing investigations come into events where, and I'm not saying this for everybody, but I've witnessed it firsthand, where then people get events, become liked, become really liked, then people, they start to get so many followers. When people start to get so many followers, then it becomes complacent and big-headed, you know, I'm the top dog, blah, blah, blah. Then I've witnessed it for the three biggest teams, right, in the UK, right? Well, they class themselves as big teams. I say different. And they start to don't like when you might go in and say, well, it might not be this, it might be that. Then other fans turn on you or followers and they start saying, well, go and follow this person. The followers come over, call you for everything. You're just, and it drives me berserk when I hear this word getting thrown out in the paranormal.
Yeah.
You're just jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous
You
of
can hear.
what? Of
I mean,
what?
you can count probably on 5 fingers, which I haven't been in years and years and years like a lot of people have. I just happen to be in with the right people. That's the only reason people know me. And believe me, I got in with the wrong people at first, and they knew me for a very wrong reason.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
But, you know, I can count on one hand the people on TV that are amazing. Mustafa Gadalori.
Yep.
He is one of the most amazing people. And I will always have the utmost respect for him unless he does something stupid. I will always have the utmost respect for him because he came to one of our events, which I say are because I was a part of this, which I should have never been. But he came, we paid for his plane ticket, his room, and we were supposed to pay him to be there. I mean, he is a celebrity. And I didn't know at the time, or I would have said, hey, don't come.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money for him.
Bless me.
They didn't have it. They expected to make it from the people that came. There wasn't enough people that came. And do you know that man said, don't worry about it. Anything that you make, put toward this location. I love this location.
Bless them. Bless them.
I'm like, are you kidding me? He could have sued. He had a contract to come. He could have sued.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
And my best friend, Jan, her little girl is in love with him, and he knows it.
Oh,
she talks about how cute his butt is.
Oh,
She's 5. It started when she was 4. And one day he was on our show, and she was not able to make it. Jan had just got out of surgery. So the little girl was gone and wasn't able to watch the show. And he made sure he said to her, you know, hi, how are you? Said her name, talked to her. So it was like, wow, you know, he took the time to do that. That's somebody who has not let fame get to his head.
That's a bit, baby. It's people like him and my idol, who I just absolutely love to bits, is Dwayne Johnston. And that's what I love about Dwayne Johnston, is he's so down to earth. And I know you're going to be like, what the hell was that came from? But it just shows you, like, I'm just talking in general. Just keep following your phone. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I actually do more podcasting than investigations now. Can I ask what is the celebrity in the paranormal that no other person works hard at?
Hmm. Not really sure how to answer that one myself, to be honest with you guys.
Sorry, Jenny, love. What do you mean, honey? I probably do know what you mean. I'm just not sure how to answer that first. But like that's no let fame go to his head. And there is a lot of people out there, and the biggest person that I suppose in another essence who have really got the biggest respect for is Keanu Reeves, because that man is so lovely, and I've heard so many nice stories about the guy. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not sure myself. I can think that I would be, and I can hope that I would be. But if I was on top of the world, do I know that I would still be who I am? No, I don't. And I can't say for 100% that I wouldn't be more of a bitch than I am now.
do you know what? I've asked myself this always, and I've said that I always would be, regardless, because when you come from nothing and never
Right.
had nothing,
Right.
then you learn how to be humble with things.
Mhm.
And I've always said that it didn't matter whether I won the lottery and won the most biggest amount of money in the world. And this is what really pees me off with people who win the lottery and they have this big amounts. Like, how in the God's earth name, honestly, can you blow through all that sort of money? Because it's just like, and I've heard many, when you read about a lot of stories where people have, like you've said, people have changed, people have became more arrogant. They think that the big dog, and they spend their money like it going out of fashion. I'm just that kind of way where I'm saying to myself, nah, I would never ever let money ever change me. Never. Because when you have nothing and you've trained yourself to be so humble, like even if I did have a lot of money, I would probably give it away to charity or something away charity. I'd get to use guys, Nick,
I
I'll
would
give you
like
that
to think
Lamborghini that
so.
you've always wanted.
I would like to think so. But I
All
know
right. I get what Jenny. Everyone works
Yeah,
hard at research and investigations.
some
Sometimes.
teams do, some definitely don't. Celebrities and yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think the problem is that
No, I believe that, Joshua.
definitely. Definitely. That is the problem. I totally agree with what you're saying though, Jenny. That is the problem. They don't do full proper analysis sheet investigations. But because they put them on programs like Amazon Prime and things like that,
Mm.
there's problems. People are afraid to say.
People are afraid to say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of a pretty much the truth is like you just have these people out there, like who just don't want to admit to it.
Oh God, yeah. Look at you. I'm very humble.
Jenny said she'll say it.
Oh, Jenny, I just love you. You should have the two of you on together. It's
Hey,
great
Lauren.
fun. Hey, Lauren.
Get back. Get your nose. Get your
I'm
snout back. Get your snout.
Oh, bless.
Is Ghost nearby, Adrian, or is it one of the other dogs?
Oh, I just love dogs.
Oh yeah, Ghost is right here.
I just saw.
Oh, bigger baby.
Get your breath out of my face, please. I love you. Go on. Go
Oh,
on.
bless.
Get my plate. Get your notes out of there. I'll beat you. All right, down. Down.
Oh, how old are they?
Go on. Get.
Have you
No.
got a cockatiel tail? Oh
A
no, it's not.
cockatiel. A cockatiel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's funny that that stupid bird. I work in my office upstairs 10 hours a day. I have meetings, I have calls all day, and that bird sits right here and squeaks.
Oh, bless.
And I was doing an interview for an internship, and that bird landed on my head during the interview. Real professional.
Josh said,
Yeah, we have a tarantula, which Joshua, I know you didn't get to hear the story, so you got to hear the story.
this is a good story.
And with a gummy, it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
So there's a tarantula here that is at least 23 years old. They're not supposed to live that
Oh,
long.
wow.
They're not. And its whole life, well, first it was his son's kindergarten pet. It lived in a 10-gallon tank. 10-gallon tank. I was here a couple of years and I said, I don't like this 10-gallon tank. This thing needs room. She's at the end of her life. Let's give her room. We found at a yard sale this great big thing that used to house a turtle. And we put her in there, put the coconut down, all that. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I look over on my day off and I said, the spider's dying. Because she was in a position she's never been in. But I touched her and she moved a little bit. I said, hey, I'm afraid she's going. But right now she's alive. And he was like, oh my gosh, he's had her a long time. And I went back that evening and there was no moving. None whatsoever.
Oh my God.
And so we picked her up. We put her in a box. Okay. And waiting to bury her. We forgot about her for 5 days. Just forgot to bury her. I was cleaning house the next weekend and I picked the box up and I'm shaking it. And I'm like, what is in this box? I'm going to throw it away. I lift it up and there is 8 legs moving.
Oh my God.
And 8 legs laying. They're not moving. I flipped the hell out. Mind you, I've already shook this thing. I said, she's alive. She's alive. You need to take her. She's alive. You get her.
It was molting. Yeah.
Flipped. Yes. And she has not molted in 7 years.
Wow.
Flipped. I flipped. We put her down. And of course, they're soft at that point. Their fangs, they cannot bite anything because their fangs are not black yet and hardened. Yeah. She'd stand up like this.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God, I have traumatized her. She will never get to be held again. She is okay now, but Lord have mercy, I will not put my hand in that thing again. I'm not doing it. She knows I shook her. And no. I really don't know, Josh, what kind she is.
Jenny was asked what breed of tarantula.
Let me ask him. I got to yell, so.
While she's doing that, I'm also going to read out what Josh said. They usually crawl in, I think, their legs when they're dying.
Okay, she's a rose hair.
A rose hair? Okay.
Yeah, and she used to spin webs.
Spiders of the Dead. Up next on Discovery Plus.
This zombie comes back to life, and I promise you, the next time she dies, she's staying on that thing for 10 days. I don't care. She's going to stay there for 10 days. I'm going to make sure she's dead. Because what if we'd have buried her the next day like we meant to? No.
Then that would have been arachnophobia.
We'd have never known. We'd have never known. We'd have thought she was dead and buried her, but thank goodness we didn't. Yeah, we have that. I have owned a skunk. I have owned squirrels. I have owned turtles, wild turtles, raccoons. They used to call me Ellie Mae.
The cute things. I love raccoons.
Yeah, real beautiful. Cute things. Real cute things.
They are cute wee things. You just want to grab them by the cheeks and go, oh, you cheek. In fact, that's what Jenny said to me. She has to grab me by the cheeks.
The thing with raccoons, though, the one I had was like, half grown. And it would crawl up here. And if I was taking a drink of soda one day, and it decided it liked the smell of what I was eating, took his huge claws, grabbed my bottom mouth, opened it like this, and stuck his paw in there to try to get what I was eating.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised you didn't get stitches as a result of that.
Oh no, it wasn't cutting me. He had my teeth and he was pulling me down.
Yikes.
Yeah. I slept with tigers in my bed. My dad was a
lucky devil.
Oh yeah, that's only for a little bit. My dad was a veterinarian volunteer for the zoo. So we had a tiger. The mama, I don't know exactly what happened. I was young, but I know we didn't have it very long. And my dad said, we got to take it back. And I said, why? It's fine. And I found out within a week why. Because when they start playing, their playing is not our playing. And they will slice you and their teeth will meet in your arm. They don't mean to hurt you. They're playing. That's all they know.
See, Chanel says like raccoons in the wildlife are vicious and dangerous. And that may be the case, like, those that live in the wild. But for pets, those that are bred, they probably have a different type of personality, if that's correct.
Yeah.
The ones that you find as babies, they do have a different personality till they hit puberty. We have to remember that all animals still have their animalistic instincts. They are not bred out of them. It takes generation after generation after generation to breed that out of them. And we don't want to do that. I mean, why would you want to breed their wild out? We used to save squirrels.
Thousands of years.
Yeah. I mean, we used to save squirrels because my brother was, he would chop down trees to do power lines in the city, and lots of times they would have to chop down squirrel nests. And those suckers, you think they're not smart? We had a baby, took it 10 miles out of town to our house. And one baby, the mother, within 3 days, made that 10-mile trek. There was no trees where we lived and was standing on the one pole that we had for a light and just yelling. So I just took the baby squirrel, put it back out there under that light, and wherever she took it, made a home with it, perfectly fine.
There was, let me see here what Jenny says. How are your laws there in America with the XL bullies?
So the bullies, they don't have an issue with. It's the pit bulls that they have an issue with. And honestly, they consider them two different breeds completely, which in a way, I guess they are, but they're so expensive here. Hardly anybody has them. But the pit bulls, if you live in an HOA neighborhood, you live in an apartment, you live, in a neighborhood that doesn't like it, you cannot own a pit bull, which I get looks from my little Rose here, and she's half boxer. So, she wouldn't hurt nobody. Now she will hurt a dog. If a dog comes through here, there's no catching her.
Oh, God.
Check this out. Lauren said her son has moved back from Guam, and her grandcat will be moving back with her daddy as well. That's wow. That's good to hear, Lauren.
Yeah, Jenny, I totally don't agree with the law that they've started here. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
psychology.
disgusting.
Oh no.
It's an awful law here starting on October 1st. They will be what's
Put to
PTO?
sleep. Put to
Put this.
sleep.
Oh God. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's a really horrible, disgusting thing to do. And the sad reality is these animals getting treated like that.
It
Now,
is. It's terrible.
everybody says that when it comes to dogs, right, that it's dogs are breeds are vicious. No, breeds are not vicious. It's the people who own them
It
who
is.
don't know how to handle them. They
Yeah.
don't know how to
Absolutely.
treat them. They don't do the proper research. They don't do the even when they do the research or don't do the research, don't do the proper things that they should be doing with the dogs. And then this is what ends up resulting that unfortunately it's the
Okay.
same as it's even like animals, and this is touching on a very grey area for me because I hate this subject, right? But there's animals even in the zoos who has got destroyed because of stupid humanity
Yes.
who
Yeah.
who like can't keep themselves or their children under control.
Yep.
And then it's the poor animals that have to suffer. I'm a big animal lover, very, very big animal lover.
Okay. So for you and Jenny that are such animal lovers, and I know Josh is, tell me, until here recently, I thought everybody did it. Found out it's not true. But can you look at an animal and look at its eyes and tell how it's feeling? Maybe not what's hurting, but you know it's hurt. You know it's scared. Not by its actions on its body or its shaking, anything like that. Just looking at it. Can you connect with their eyes and know how they're feeling? I think Jenny's going to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm sure she will. While we're waiting for that too, I'm gonna just go back.
And some of
The
and
comments are
some
really
of
cool.
oh sorry, I'll let you go.
I have a squirrel that knocks on my window every day for nuts. Out of my hand. He
Yep.
haunts me until I open the door.
Yep.
Chanel says, I love raccoons. Would never mess with one in the wild. Been chased by one.
Oh, I didn't know they chased.
They can't. I think. I don't know. I would assume most likely if you just like infringe on their young or something like that. That almost happened to me once. Actually, I didn't get chased off by one, but when I was younger, we used to go to. I probably told about this place before. We used to go to this place called Turkey Run Inn. It was located out in Rockville, Indiana, and there was like a whole family of raccoons that there had to have been at least probably 10 to 15 of them. Like the entire stairs were covered by them. And at one point, I was ready to get back inside, and I hear a noise, and literally right behind me, there's one literally standing right behind the back of my feet, like on my ankles, looking up. I thought he was ready to scratch or bite, and so I immediately ran into the building and just got out of there. I didn't know what I didn't. It may have just been probably one of the baby raccoons because it was a little bit smaller compared to the others. But obviously, I was not going to stand and wait and find out what was going to happen. It was just not worth the risk.
They think it's fun and games. I'm telling you, because my mother-in-law was scared of him, and when he would the squirrel, not the raccoon, but she would sit on the couch, and it would be under the couch waiting for her to sit down. And when she'd sit down, it would grab her ankles. She'd take off running. It would take off running. Yeah, it was a game. It was fun.
Can't have cockatoos in those locations either.
Cockatoos are much larger.
Yeah.
And very loud.
Love no HOA for me. Live free or die hard. Then Jenny's here says, 5 attacks in 5 months, and it's crazy, but people have to understand the breed and what they can do. Of course, yeah, I already knew this. Jenny says she works in rescue and animal welfare. Chanel said, I used to rescue pit bulls before my cancer. Most were trained to fight. Well, like dog fighting. Yeah, that's something I hate a lot. I hate when it comes to dog fighting. Jenny has 3 Chihuahuas, and they are good dogs. I have a Jack Russell and a dog groomer. I will tell you of dogs that have been attacked. Oh, now Lauren here says they're all in Bermuda right now, visiting friends who used to work with when we lived here from 2010 to 2015. Wow. Check
Have a
that
good
out.
one.
I agree, Jenny, with the dog. I decided I would save a pit bull one time.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah. I thought I'd be cute. Yeah. Knowing I know what I've heard about the breed. My stupid ass said, all animals love me. It's okay. It was a baby. It was a little baby. My husband made the mistake of putting it was a shock collar, which that part didn't hurt him. It was only if he would bark, we'd buzz him. And he went under the fence, and we had to teach him to stop going under the fence because there was livestock next door, and he would kill the livestock, or they would think he would, and shoot him. So about half grown, my husband took his belt off. I'm no longer married to this man, mind you. And he whipped the dog back to the house for getting under the fence. Now, he didn't hurt it. Yes, it hurt, but he didn't beat it to death. And it ran under my recliner, and the leg was up on my recliner. And I went to go get him to take the collar off of him just to help him feel better. He was still scared. I reached where he couldn't see me. He saw my hands. And of course he knew it was me, but he was still scared, and he bit. And when he bit, he ripped nerve. And my husband at the time had always told me, if a dog bites you, I'm shooting it. If he bites anybody, I'm shooting it. So I walked out, face still white, scared to death of this dog right now, had a paper towel in my hand, and I said, this is my fault. You're not touching this dog. He said, no. I said, no, you're not touching this dog. He said, well, it can't stay. I said, that's fine. I put it on Facebook. I told him, I was upfront with what happened, that it was my fault. I need somebody who knows pits to come get it. And they did. Somebody who was able to raise him did come get it. But I didn't, for one, establish dominance with that dog whatsoever. I treated it like a Chihuahua. Mistake number 1. You don't treat those dogs like a Chihuahua.
No, you don't.
But, that's all I knew was dogs like these guys. I treat them like a Chihuahua. They're lap dogs. No matter how big they are, they sleep in my bed, no matter how big they are. But yeah, I will not do that again. I will go through training classes with the animal and learn a whole lot more than I did. And then again, not be married to that man. That helps a lot.
So my worst bites came from the dogs and Chow. The Chow was my dad's.
I have heard that they are very, very aggressive. I did give mine away when I got pregnant. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I gave mine away because I had heard that they can get jealous of babies.
Hey, Nikki.
So,
Joshua, I never pictured you with 2 Chihuahuas.
That's what I had too. Was Chihuahuas. I love them. I want another one.
I did.
Yeah, I've never heard of Chows before, so this is kind of.
Look up the picture of a Chow. It looks like a lion.
I was just going to say that.
Pickle Tom.
Pickle Tom. I haven't seen you since, I don't know, maybe.
A few hours ago?
Yeah.
the fact that he's in the chat, this is better than the time this is better than the time I saw him about 3 or 4 hours ago.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm still here.
They have
I
a blue tongue?
I think my favorite animal, we all have that one animal that we bonded with more than any other animal. And I think mine was a min pin.
Is it actually called
Besides the Chihuahua.
just looked it up. Is it actually called a chow chow?
Yes.
Oh, it's from I didn't realize they're from northern China.
They are.
Oh, they are the dogs that I think they're.
I don't see a lot of them anymore here at all.
I wonder if they're like more well, considering that again, like I just said, I found out they're from northern China. I wonder if they're more common now, like in their original home territory.
Mm-mm. Well, I mean, they were very common here for a while. Like you'd see them. Maybe it was the town I was in. I don't know. But I've seen maybe in the last 20 years, seen 2.
I haven't seen that many. The only time I've ever really seen, the last time I think I've even seen a chow chow, and it's not surprising, would be the International Dog Show. Like
yeah.
they have on Thanksgiving. You kind of expect to see that type of dog. I think that it's a rare. I think it's a rare breed, but it's surprisingly one of the most common breeds that they add onto the dog show.
Well, with me, when I first moved here, we couldn't have animals where we were living. And Zach had just lost his dog. He had to put it down. He couldn't even climb steps anymore. And he'd had him since he was a tiny baby.
Ooh.
How is that possible?
Maureen said, yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I decided, we need a dog and I need one. He was working, wasn't worried about that. I wanted one in my office with me. So I see this dog on Facebook. They're trying to give it away. I'm like, okay. They said it's scared of everything, hides under the table. I don't think it likes my kids. They're scared of it. It's like, okay. He goes and gets it for me. He walks in the house with it, and this dog jumps up on on her hind legs, wraps her legs around his legs, holding on. And I knew immediately something bad has happened to this dog. I mean, something very bad has happened to this dog.
Oh, jeez.
She now, if there's somebody around, she'll go behind him, which she is a healing dog, a healer.
Uh-huh.
She's half greyhound, which makes her kind of skittish and really weird. But then she's also border collie, which they nip at heels of sheep and cows to hurt them. So she will still do that to people she does not like. She will walk up behind them and nip the back of their leg.
Yeah.
She doesn't hurt people, but that scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, it would scare anyone.
She ended up being my husband's dog. I mean, sure, she'll come to me. She loves me, but she stays with him. So we go to the pound. I'm going to get a little dog. I want a lap dog. This is great. No little dogs. No little dogs. I'm like, well, I really wanted a dog right now. They brought him back from the pet store where they had him on display. And
I've got a phobia with collies. I don't know.
One dog stuck out. We wanted the what Josh say, the kind of a coon dog type thing.
Collie?
No.
No,
Josh
not
said
collie.
it a minute ago.
Going back quickly, what he said. Oh, and that's look at Nikki.
It was like a coon dog.
When he was younger, a Rottweiler got him in the spine. Jeez.
Yeah, those things can be vicious. Any dog can be vicious, honestly.
Can be. Trying to look for.
But these dogs howl. They are hunting dogs. They howl. And when he heard that howl, he was like, So this white dog that you just saw here, this great big white dog, I said, let's look at it. And they put us in a room, turned him loose. He come barreling. I was sitting in the floor, making sure I don't scare him. He jumps on me and pushes me down. I'm like, okay, coonhound. Okay. He came with me. I was like, okay, that's it. That was supposed to be my lap dog. Okay. It's his too, because it has to stay down here. It can't be upstairs, destructive. So they're both here with him all day. Rose is my baby, the brown one.
Oh, bless.
She stays in the bed in the other room. And if I hit the floor, my feet hit the floor and I take 2 steps, she's behind me. She has separation anxiety where if you leave for the store, nobody's in this house, she's going to poop on that floor.
Oh.
And it's not that she does it on purpose to be mad, anything. She has separation anxiety. I don't know what's happened to her. But she just can't control her bowels. I still want a damn little lap dog. So we're going to have 4 before it's over.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with having animals.
He's in there. I hear him screaming, baby girl, help daddy. They're all on him wrestling right now.
Probably.
Yep.
Guys, I hate to cut this short, but unfortunately we do have to end things though, because it's already past 9 o'clock. So
that's all right. I'm kind of glad because I'm sitting here in my mouth dead dry and I'm like, I want to move for a drink, but I can't actually move for a drink. And plus as well, it's about 3:10 in the morning for myself and I've not been to bed at all. So I've been up for like stupid o'clock yesterday morning. But guys, can I begin to thank you for having me? Thank you very much, and thank you, Jeremy, for asking me. I've really enjoyed myself, and I've been very, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
You always tire me out, Tom.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? He doesn't just tire you, he tires all of us with his pickles.
All right, y'all have a good night. We will see you next week.
And we have for next week, who do we have?
Her name is, I want to try to say her last name right. Zymet.
Thank you, Robert.
It's Beverly Zymet.
Beverly Zymet.
Yeah, I think that's how you say her last name.
Okay. Yeah, that's a new name for me. So, but yeah, Lois, thank you so much for coming on though, and we'll definitely have you back on again real soon. I know we shifted from, murders to some of the paranormal stuff to animals.
I can honestly say it's a podcast. No podcast dies on its road. It always goes down rabbit holes. Guys, I've had fun. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you everybody who's tuned in.
Oh, and one final thing before we get off, I'm just gonna say real quick. I finished up that disc golf, and I got a birdie.
You go birdie.
I'll explain that to you another time, Adrian, so you get the understanding.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye.
You guys all have a great night. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Bye.